So, hi Ajay, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Swani?
I'm good, I'm good. I'm so excited to be doing this, and it's so good to connect with you. Could you tell me a little more about yourself?
Oh well, so I'm HR professional. By profession, I'm HR professional, and uh, it's been 13, 14 years in HR fraternity. I work for a non-banking financial company. I'm based out of Gurgaon, and it's been 20 years for me to stay in Delhi NCR. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So, just a little bit about me. I'm Sohini, and I happen to be an interreligious dialogue facilitator. So, it's out of the box profile. You wouldn't meet many, I guess, every day. But yeah, so I'm based out of Kolkata right now, and I come to the Delhi sometime, and I have a lot of friends there. I've stayed there for some time as well. As you know, today we are meeting here to talk about something that is really meaningful to me, something very, very deep and meaningful. So, on many a trip to Delhi, these days I have a new family, right? So, that new family is none other than Maulana Wahiduddin Khan's family, and they've blessed me with so much. And I am to a great extent who I am because of everything that I've gained from them, from the entire family, from Maulana, from Farida Appa and Maria, and all of these people. So I wanted to learn. I was curious. Like, could you tell me, what has your experience been like? What's your story of interaction with Maulana Wahiduddin Khan and his organization, his family? I mean, they're such lovely people. So, if you could tell me a little more about that story, like, tell me
Yeah,
about your
sure.
first memory.
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, inviting me for this opportunity. It's really, I mean, it's an honor for me to speak about Maulana and the entire CPS team, I would say. Uh, I think, if I'm not wrong, 2009, that was the year when I met Maulana first time. It's been 10, 11 years, a decade.
Wow.
And if I have to go back in my memory lanes and remember, my first meeting with Maulana, uh, so I started going just like any other seeker, So I had a very deep urge of knowing certain things, all my life I think I have been like that. So, but meeting a spiritual guru, a master, face to face, that was a sort of first of a kind of experience for me. So I initially, in a few days, I know I just I used to go for the Sunday classes every Sunday, 10 in the morning. Maulana used to conduct, these sessions. Anybody can go. It's absolutely like no sort of reservation. Anybody can go, and so just like a seeker, I also went there. Uh, I would say that first of all, it's important that before you meet a master or a guru, or or somebody like Maulana, you get to meet the team members first, people who are around them. And I remember that entire Maulana's family and all the CPS members, the way they treated me, on day one. I felt, I mean, that first day only, I got this feeling that I'm home. I'm meeting people who are like,
Exactly.
I got this vibe that they are like, they are my friends. They are my I'm safe with them. So, and so initial I think few Sundays I was just reluctant to go to Maulana and talk to him. But then once I remember I got an opportunity, and Maulana got to know from one of the team members that I've been coming. And then Maulana called me and he said that आइए बैठिए हम आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं. So I was I was a little nervous, and he asked me that it's been, I mean, what I have learned that you have been coming for quite some time. So why do you come? You know, what is the reason?
Mm-hmm.
What you are looking for? And I that in all that nervousness, and I told him, Maulana, I come because after your lecture, I get food for thought. Whatever you say stimulates my intellect, and सोचने को मिलता है. After that, I get time. mm, I get opportunity to ponder on things. So, so Maulana was very happy, by this, and he says that no, आपको पता है, आपको एक सूत्र मिल गया, you have got a sort of, a method or a tool with
Mm-hmm.
which you can uh, really go deeper in your journey. So, so that was my first, interaction with Maulana, and I still remember when he says that no, आपको एक सूत्र मिल गया, आपको एक path मिल गया in a way. So
And now it's been 10 years, huh? 9 to 10 years, I guess. Yeah, long time. Long time
yeah,
indeed.
seriously, I mean, ever since, I think it has been only for me, a phenomenal personal spiritual journey. He basically, the seed that I think that I had, he nurtured it with, with his teachings. So he has basically showered his love, his teaching, and compassion. That anybody who lives around him, who goes around Maulana, can feel that, that compassion, that love, and obviously, I mean, the depth that he has, on each and every aspect of life. So, and when it has completely changed me as an individual, I would say.
So tell me more. Like, how did you first decide to go see him? Like, did you read his books before, or perhaps like had you, like, how did you get to know about him? And because he's a very world-renowned Islamic studies scholar, so has it ever somewhere struck you that, I mean, we all grow up with our own prejudices. We all grow up in different communities. So, for instance, I hail from the Hindu community, from a Bengali Hindu family, and I did have my reservations in the beginning, but things turned around for me when I met him. Like when he would be talking to me, I would forget that we are from different communities. But right before that encounter, you have these inhibitions in mind, you have these fears, and you're like, okay, so. Is this going to be palatable to me because I'm from some other tradition? Are the teachings going to be relevant? Am I going to be, uh, asked to take on some identity because in order to be a part of the gathering or something like that? We have so many fears, right? I have grown up with a number of these kind of prejudices, but of course they all turned around the way I was embraced by them. And till date I've never felt that there's been any um problem for me to relate to anything because of my identity or because of what I identify with, what community I belong to. So, what would you say? Like, what has your experience been along those lines? Like, what would you say that is this like? How universal are his teachings? How do they appeal across communities, across identity barriers? And is there any way like you can perhaps share how you have felt connected, safe, and welcome, and not lost yourself either? So regarding the teachings, like how have they served you to be more rooted to perhaps your identity? I mean, I know it has done so with respect to me, but I wouldn't be wanting to prompt you, so please share a little bit about your journey in that sense.
Sure, sure. And very interesting question. And I can relate to you a lot. Okay. Uh, and to my, in my context, how it was that, I had certain notions about Islam, and very strong notions about Islam, that it is a religion that prescribes or subscribe violence, um, and also that lot of it's more than a religion. It is a political movement. So that was my
Mm.
my notions about and anybody who has just neutrally grown in the environment, and noticing what things were happening that point of time. It was very very easy to to reach out to this kind of conclusion, because the as Maulana says, and again, I'm sort of jumping to the learnings that I got from Maulana. Uh, but that what was happening earlier is that I was looking at Muslims across, and the newspapers, and I was whatever Muslims were doing, I was relating it to Islam. So I never had this distinction in my mind that there are two things. One is the scripture, the ideology, the whole concept of peace and everything which is there in Islam. I was looking at Muslims and what certain a small chunk of Muslims who are doing in the world. I was just sort of imposing it on Islam. That when I was looking at Muslims, okay, so 9/11 happened. It was done by few terrorists or extremists, and they did it in the name of Islam, and that's why Islam is like this. So I had sort of those kind of notions. What completely turned around, what happened to me is that when I went and I started listening Maulana, the first thing that I learned that you have to distinguish between both of them. One is that Islam as a religion and Muslims and their culture. You
Mm.
know, so these two things are different. So, and that's he is the one who taught me or who gave me this perspective, not only limited to Islam, but for my entire life, that you should judge people, you know in the eyes of what text says, what has been prescribed to these people, not vice versa. You should not be seeing Muslims
Mm.
and say that no, Islam is like this. you know so
Yeah.
that was the first fundamental, I would say, that the clarity that I've got, you know in context to Islam. And when Maulana started explaining it, Maulana started talking about the life of the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, and how he lived his life. Then then I think it was a you know 360 kind of change, and I'll definitely share a few things with you. But I hope I mean I have been able to answer your first question, that
Yes,
how.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that is what happened to me.
Yes, I mean that's what happens. I mean when you actually meet Maulana in person, that's when for a second you're like, okay. So for me, when I was meeting him for the first time, and I remember I sat in front of him, like waiting for him to speak. Almost for some time I was like, I forgot that I was meeting such a world renowned scholar. I felt I was just listening, I was just sitting there, at his feet, like a grandchild would, to just listen to stories, the way, which is a very cultural thing in our Indian society. So could you tell me something very memorable that you remember about anything that he said that stuck with you, something that was very relevant to your life at some point, and maybe how it has helped you? And also maybe tell us more about how you've built relationships with the other community, as I say, with Muslims, like how that has changed after perhaps meeting Maulana and the entire team of CPS.
Sure, sure. So, first of all, telling one thing would be very, very difficult for me because there is no sort of, sort of one thing in last 10 years, 10, 11 years, there have been, I mean, a complete shift in me.
I can imagine.
I'm a different person altogether. And it's essentially because of Maulana. And if I have to sum it up, few things that uh, that are very, very, I would say, sort of has been very, very helpful for me, or has become principles of my life. Uh, is first, when when I went there, somewhere, I had this in my heart that there is something that that we and they.
Hmm.
So whether it is by religion, you
Hmm.
know, in some societies it is by this color of the skin, or by various others. Sometimes caste, religion, uh, nationality, and all that. Uh, One thing which has become a principle of my life is that that Maulana has taught us, and it is he derives it from the life of Prophet of Islam and Quran, the Quran, is that there is no enemy. So there is nothing like enemy. So Quran says that either you have friends or you have potential friends. You know So somebody whom you have not met, interacted, spent time, went on a coffee, try to understand each other,
Mm-hmm.
till that time that person is a potential friend for you. And then friends, that your circle, your parents, and everybody. I mean, so that is one category, which is a category of friends. And there is another category, people you haven't met, understood their life, didn't know their context. So they are basically your potential friends. So there is no scope of, we, they, you know.
True.
So that is I would say the very profound learning I got it from Maulana, and only somebody like Maulana can help you understand that, because he practiced that in his life, and you are an exam. I mean, you have felt it, I have felt it, all the people who have met, I mean, across, I would say that ideology, or belief system people. I've seen Maulana sitting with all I mean with people of all religions, all faith, you know, and the the feeling that I get is that there is not we or they, you know. So first thing I think that has happened. I think what another thing which is very, very important that I have learned from Maulana is you know how you deal with the situation, and most important, the situations which are not favorable.
Mm.
And we really get uncomfortable in those situations, and we really do not, we want to run away from them, we want them to disappear.
Mm.
uh, 10 years going to Maulana, what has happened to me is I now do not see problems as problems.
Wow.
Maulana, again, he refers it from Quran, from the life of Prophet of Islam, that with every problem there is ease, you know, and if you have to translate it into in a let's say in a very secular mindset, or somebody who's progressive, I I think what he has taught us is that with every difficulty there is an opportunity.
Mm.
So the mind shift that has changed is that if there is a problem, I mean, just stay with it, stay the course, and look for the opportunities in it, rather than saying that, no, why it is happening to me, or most important is that not blaming others. Most important, not blaming others.
True.
So most of the time, what happens that uh, that there is an aggregate. I mean that aggression comes from within. That it is happening because of so and so people. So and so is troubling me in the office, and we experience every day. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the simple thing I can say that if now I'm going to office and I know that there is a bad traffic, and on top of that somebody is honking, rather than looking back and abusing that guy, I so what has happened to me is that I sometimes think that he might be honking because he must be really getting late for the office, or he must have somebody who is waiting for him and he is in an urgency. So that shift is a very fundamental shift that I would say that has happened within me, and it has only happened because of Mola and his teachings.
Wonderful. This reminds me of one thing which stuck with me. So when I was meeting him for the first time, at that point of time, I was going through a very low phase of my life. So I was like really, I was suffering physically also. So wasn't very well. And I used to constantly, ask that question, why me? Why is this happening to me? Always I felt like the world had turned against me. Now, all of a sudden, Maulana almost opened that door for self-reflection. And I still remember the very important line that he said. He said that when apparently you're not doing much outside, a lot is happening inside. So, and that was something that was new. Like, it didn't occur to me to think that maybe there was something that was going on inside which is going to be helpful for when I emerge out of the situation. And that's something that I think has been very meaningful in my life. Like whenever I have suffered health wise, or um, I feel that I'm not being productive, that's when I just go on and like sort of go and hold that sutra, that something is happening inside. Like it might not show right now, but eventually it will. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been life changing. So tell me, Ajay, as we round up this dialogue, um, how would you say that people from all different backgrounds would benefit? What would you say, what would be your invitation to people from all backgrounds to explore the openness of a seeker, and to understand that your identity does not come in the way of seeking knowledge from wherever you can find it, and how Maulana has been in fact a fountainhead for such knowledge for everyone, be it from any community possible. So, what would be your message to everyone who's listening to us today about how seeking should be something that is focused on knowledge and not on identity, perhaps? Do not let perhaps identity come in the way of stopping your attitude or your approach to seeking more knowledge, and how Maulana can be such a treasure trove of knowledge in that sense. And we still have him, and may he live another 100 years. And we're
Yeah.
so lucky. We are so lucky to have him, such a fountainhead
Seriously.
of knowledge. So, your message.
Yeah. So message giving a message is sort of the big thing. I don't know. I mean, but I can just share few more things which I learned from Maulana, and what he keeps saying uh, uh, is that I think open mindedness is the key. You should be really open, and that has been a fundamental thing. If you look at the CPS culture, if you go and meet Maulana, you
Mm-hmm.
see that openness. The
Yeah.
wherever the knowledge is coming, just take it, with all sincerity, and and my entire view, as I said, that has completely changed about Islam. and what Islam practices teaches. Just a couple of things I would like to talk about, from what I learned from Maulana and from the Quran. Uh, if you read Quran with all sincerity, and if you go and meet Maulana, and if you get an opportunity to learn the real essence of Islam from Maulana, then one thing is that it brings a lot of accountability on you. You know that if you read Quran, lot of emphasis has been given on doing good deeds. You know, being kind to people, helping each other. And most important is that there is one chapter in the Quran, the earthquake, and there is a verse in that, and which you can probably sum it up as the key learning of me from the Quran, is that anybody who has done a particle of evil will see it, or will have to face it, in the hereafter. And anybody who has done a particle of good deed will see it in the hereafter. So it clearly makes you a accountable person, a person who cannot be a trouble for anybody, a human being who is always conscious and aware about his deeds, or her deeds, rather than focusing on what is happening around or who is doing what. And that is not only on the action level. I would say that okay, so I should be like in a way politically correct, or doing all good deeds in the eyes of God, or others.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like that. So in another place, Maulana talks about that, and it is again from the life of the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad. Is that once he looked at a person, and he says that do uh, and he was sitting with his companions, and he looked at a person, and he said that this person has this person will go to paradise hereafter.
Mm-hmm.
And lot of people who were sitting around him were like amused in a sense that because getting a paradise is the biggest reward in Islam. And so a lot of people who were around him, his companions, they got curious that how come Prophet said such a thing about this person. So one of the companions, Hazrat Ali, he followed this guy, and he went to his house, and he says that from that point of that in that time, you could go to any person and stay at his home for 3 to 5 days, and the person will not say no to you. So he said that no, I want to spend time with you. So uh, then this person allowed Hazrat Ali that okay, you come and you stay with me. So he spent 3-4 days, and he realized that this person is not doing something extra, than what I do.
Mm.
So yes, he's praying, during all 5 times. He takes care of his family well and everything. I mean, which is expected out of any Muslim. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's not doing something extra. So how come Prophet of Islam said that this person will go to paradise with such a surety, such a authority? While going, on the third day or fifth day, he said that actually this happened, and I got curious. I wanted to know what special do you have, because of which Prophet said that you will go to paradise. So this person said that I also do not know why Prophet of Islam said this, but I can tell you one thing about me, that uh, and I can assure you that I never keep malice or any hard feeling for anybody in my heart. So that is, I think, the probably could be a thing that I can tell you with all assurance, that I do not have anger, hatred, or malice for anybody in my heart. And then Hazrat Ali understood that, no, I think that was the reason why, Prophet said that, no, this person will go to paradise. So what I'm trying to say is that, it's not only on the action level, but what you think in your heart. You know, uh, Islam emphasizes a lot on that. Quran clearly say that, it's important that, not only from the, your behavior or demeanor, what kind of person you are, but what is important is that, in private, who you are. So I think that has been some few very profound learnings for me. And I would only say to everybody is that, read Quran, and in the guidance of somebody like Maulana, or if possible, I would say that, read Maulana's literature. He has written hundreds of books, and he is there. You can go meet him, listen to him on all social media channels, which are there, and then make your perception, make your notions about Islam, and or what kind of religion it is. Don't look at Muslims and say that, Islam is like that. Yeah.
That was so valuable. Ajay, thank you so much. It was lovely, lovely listening to your story and listening to you share about your experience with Maulana. I look forward to talking to you again. And
Thank you so much.
thank you so much for your time and for coming forward and sharing this with the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Sorry. Take care.